Rhode Island.
Yep, so good. No, you're so decided.
This is.
Now she's on.
Oh, just for the latest?
Oh. Adjusted.
Wonderful. Hi, Bill. Hello.
That's really well. My friend wrote a copy of the minutes, but I forgot to send out an agenda and asking people to
Okay,
look them over.
but these are what we got before.
Yes. I just printed them off. This is, got the changes we made last week and some suggestions that I received.
Since you sent the last.
Right, since last week, the new ones are.
We're running out of colors first. Thanks, so these.
I sent somebody else on the. Ah. Like the other day, I was at the warehouse. Reception inside is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
So I went outside. And got the original part where the office is, kind of got a dome roof. I stepped out the door.
Oh,
It's
no. Whoosh.
some of those.
Snow breaks.
metal roof.
We were
Oh,
on,
it's not a metal roof.
Oh,
one
it's
of
not.
those, rubber roofs. Oh, that's part of it. The rest of it.
So it's slit.
It was a lady in my shirt.
oh, so they had slid off sometime before, or they retained it.
Hmm?
Those had shed earlier, or did they retain it?
Sorry, I was hoping I could ask you to sign your name, so I could put it in the minutes that you were here.
Hello.
Hello.
I wasn't sure. Been running myself. Didn't get the agenda out, so I made a copy of the minutes.
Oh.
Got a chance to do it. This has got the changes from
Okay,
last week and some suggested ones.
Okay. perfect.
You cleaning up the floor, Linda?
I always use paper clips. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Before we start, how old was chapter 141?
Pardon me?
How old were the rules on chapter 1?
The original rules, I believe go back, to,
The last,
John has this road
okay, and they were the last ones before this?
before we started, updating, but this has been a prolonged process.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah, they're quite old, quite minimal. John Nesbitt wrote most of the code. Devil rest his soul. But, so I'm not sure if exactly when he did that, but I'm thinking at least the 80s or earlier.
They were in stone, weren't they?
Yeah. Yes. It wasn't exactly doing it.
But they're very similar to other villages,
At the time. There-
except we have water.
well,
some
we-
don't.
Well, we have water and, other villages have updated theirs
As well,
several
Yes.
times.
yes.
We're just getting around to it. Which is probably very long overdue. Kathy, if you unmute yourself. You can. Let's see.
Okay, now I'm good, thank you.
All right. Good. And Mark should be joining us shortly. And it's the magic hour, 7 o'clock, planning board. We have a work session today. I appreciate the fact that we have people here today. Last one was very lonely. So, basically, we're gonna go over our minutes from the last meeting. Get those approved. And then we'll begin our discussion of any additional changes that board members want to see made. I want to review the process. It's somewhat contorted, whatever. It's just basically the planning board is charged with the writing. Okay. But we don't approve the code. We write the code. Once we think it's ready, then I'll send it to the village lawyer who will look it over, make sure we haven't done anything that we shouldn't do. And if it passes his review, then we'll send it to the mayor, who will then distribute it to the village board. Village board will then review it and decide, okay, we like it, and open it up for public comment. That public comment, the minimum time is 30 days. On the other hand, they might say, well, we don't like it. We want additional changes and send it back to us again. If they do send it for public comment at the end of whatever length of time they select, as I said, 30 days is minimum. They will then look at all of the public comments and then decide, yes, this is what we want, or send it back to us again. So whatever we decide here isn't necessarily set in stone. The public will have a chance to make their comments. We don't normally release things ahead of time. I do know that out there's some copies from the last time. I know that one person foiled a copy that he wrote this week out and sent to the village. It's a couple meetings old, so it doesn't reflect the current language. So, with that being said, we're going to start our meeting. All right. That's it. If you take a minute and look over those Minutes of Linda's. So what you take for us?
On page 2. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down. Chair Evener said his greatest concern that this should be spray, not play park.
Thank you.
Move we accept the minutes as corrected. I'll second that.
I vote to accept them.
Yes. Yeah,
Vote yes, the minutes have been approved. Get those, correction made, that's all. We're doing that right now to get that sent to the, thank you. Right. Getting back to the minutes, starting the, 141. I've given you a fresher copy that indicates the changes we made at the last meeting and a few changes that have been suggested. If you don't mind, we'll just go in order, starting with the definition for dumpster dash roll off. The words with me. Didn't use, I don't believe. Instead, I suggest we put rubbish in instead. With refuse being
sort of an all-encompassing
right,
term. It's also a defined term, but I think that the use of rubbish and or debris is probably preferable in this context.
with any,
And then dumpster is still spelled wrong in the next line.
pardon me?
Dumpster is still spelled wrong.
Yeah.
It's different than last week, though.
Well, it has a P this time.
Just not in the right place. At least I read it.
I appreciate that. Small fixes, but they need to be made.
I would just like to ask a question about the dumpster, since we're just talking about the roll-off dumpster. The permit is, there going to be a charge for that permit for people to get a dumpster?
Well, we have to go to that section. Can we wait till we get to that section?
Well, I just saw we were talking to dumpsters. Okay,
No, we're just looking at the definitions.
okay.
Right.
Okay, then, can I just ask about the marina definition?
Yes,
How does the number 5 get justified? Not 3, not 2?
well, that's, was the definition that I was able to, borrow from other communities. If two slips constituted a marina, a lot of our residential people would be caught up in that.
Okay. So then 3?
Even 3.
3 is gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
I had 3. I had a boat and 2 jet skis.
Yeah, right. 5 is what we've seen in a couple of other similar code sections for other waterfront villages. So
Okay, I'm just using the example what's next to me. Where my home is, and there has been more than 5. They've got it down to like 4 now. But, and of course it's not his land, but that, having it even down to 4 would seem like a marina to me, especially when he charges. So would a marina be something that they charge then? That there's a money amount to it?
Well, our definition of marina includes those with plans that have been submitted, approved by a body, presumably here, and then submitted to the village clerk for recording. So your next door neighbor, to the extent that they wanted to seek approval as a marina, yeah, they would come here potentially.
And I could have Kevin check into how many he's approved for. I don't recall, since I've been on the board, them coming and asking for permission. So that must predate my time. But I think Kevin's on his, not yet. I will put a note here to check with Kevin. That's a neighbor to the north, south, what?
It'd be the south, yeah.
What direction? Which neighbor?
The Ketchums.
Thank you. I will have Kevin check on that. All right?
Thank you, Bruce. But still, I mean, okay, so it's still gonna remain the 5 then.
Well, I think I'm comfortable with 5.
I'm comfortable with 5.
Yeah, I think there's some people who could have 4 easily on their
Yeah.
docks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think the rest of the board is gonna stay with the 5, Kathy.
Okay,
All right? Motor vehicle,
As long as they're still on marina.
yes,
I might suggest using a different word. Current definition includes so any facility comprised of 5 or more contiguous boat mooring slips shall be described by a map. We don't typically describe things with a map so much as a site plan. So is site plan a better,
I
more
like that better.
usable term for us?
there's my site plan
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
and written dimensions.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, you were going to go on to something else.
that's what we're here for.
Okay, down on motor vehicles. I wanted to inject marine vehicle, strike marine vehicles. We decided to get rid of and put boats in there. I forgot to do that the last time.
Yeah. That was what we agreed on. I think that's an appropriate change.
So that reads marine vehicles, boats?
No,
No,
you strike with marine vehicles, shall include boats.
Oh, okay.
What? Yes, on that one.
no,
On down, we get to rubbish. And we put marine equipment in there. Marine is no longer intended for condition for ordinary use. And we get no tangible personal property no longer intended for condition for ordinary customary use.
that would seem appropriate.
What do you think?
So did we take? We took out other building materials?
Yeah, that would move up to
Debris.
debris.
Oh, okay,
Because we
All
have
right.
Debris,
so that's why that's out.
rubbish, that's
Yep.
like
Okay.
debris goes out there.
Yeah, okay.
If anything, we may have too many different categories of junk.
Never too much trouble.
Uh,
Okay, no, I'm good with it,
All right.
understand.
Item over to 141.5 garbage. Yardage, appliances, garbage. Debris, refuse. The big change there was, there had been a slash between rubbish and debris that was replaced with a comma.
Yeah, because now we've
Separated the.
separated the definition of the two of them.
Everything else is the same on that. In D, there was the word by that doesn't belong there at all, so you struck. I believe our original wording was provided by the contractor.
Yeah, so that was us.
Really contractor, but I forgot to take the word by.
Right.
So that's gone now.
Yeah. Most of our time is spent in the back here, 141.9. Outdoor storage. Boats and marine equipment.
I just got a note here, Jean Halligan said she can't hear anybody except for you, Bruce, on Zoom.
I'll ask people to speak up, all right? All right, I see Mark just joined us. Mark, if you'll unmute yourself.
Thank you. I was here. I just couldn't say anything.
Right. I apologize. I kept looking to see if I could see you, but unlike last week, where we had nobody on Zoom. We got several. Okay.
Thank you.
Do we need to backtrack for you, Mark?
No, I've been following for a bit.
All right. Thank you. Okay. In 141.9 dash 141-9A exception number 1. I wasn't quite sure of what we intended there. I know we should work business, any current owner of an existing marina, or do we want that any current existing marina?
We talked about, we wanted it based on the owner, because if they just change owners, then they can do things,
Without coming back?
yeah, without coming back. That's why we use current owner.
I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, up in uppercase A,
Yep.
we use the term marine vehicles over there on the first line, and we should change that to boats, right?
Yes.
Boats and marine equipment.
Yeah, boats and or marine equipment. I don't know if we need the or. Or I'm sorry, I don't know if we need the and. Store allow boats or marine equipment.
Take the hand out.
Take the and out, yeah.
All right,
Right.
exception two, there, we had any LCR property, suggesting we add WCI.
Right, that's used primarily for the residential purposes,
Yeah,
right?
that's a big search.
Change it to what, sorry?
No, it's fine as written.
Okay. Fine, is written.
That's a,
Okay.
add this.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And the caption up at the top should be plural exceptions,
Yes.
since we got two now.
Right. Okay, on 14110. I don't know, if it needs to be, I don't think we have a B.
It probably needs to have a comma after the letter R.
Yes,
Can we strike the A? That's it.
Yes.
yes.
You're gonna add, waterfront commercial to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically any property that's used primarily for residential purposes. Yeah,
Okay. Any others comment before we go to? Eleven? All right, then let's go on to 141-11. Which is dumpsters and storage containers. In the third line there, it says property zone R, MH, LCR, WC, or I zone property, that's kind of redundant, so. Take out the last zone property there.
right.
At beginning of that sentence, truck vans, is it trucks, comma vans?
It should be. Thank you.
Or the,
Trucks.
Oh, yeah, trucks, plural, vans, plural.
Thank you. Any more changes to that paragraph? All right.
So we're basically structuring that so that wouldn't be permitted in on any properties that are used primarily for residential purposes, regardless of what zone.
Okay. So, people would have up to a year to correct it.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Second paragraph. I forgot to put an A in front of the three, it's provisions of this, of sections, A2 and. I forgot the A, so I
Oh,
put that back.
where are those
down below.
Oh,
So they-
that's referring to what's.
Following sections, the provisions of the following sections, A2 and 3. I think that reads better, Bill.
Yeah, so
The
provisions below. Of sections A and.
The second paragraph,
Yeah,
what's the intent of that specifically with regards to storage of goods and materials?
well, that, basically saying that sections A and 2 would not, apply to people of the village and the businesses that are currently using. They wouldn't have to come ask for a new permit.
Which paragraph are you talking about, Mark?
The second paragraph with respect to why are people, I guess, allowed to have all these vehicles in residential areas for storage of goods and materials?
That's why we put it in there.
Are you talking about the paragraph that starts out with trucks, vans, et
Yeah,
cetera?
yes.
That's why we're putting it in there.
Are not permitted.
Third line says are not.
Okay, I guess I built for the purposes other than storage. Is that still in there?
Yeah. So if a truck is built as a truck, you can't use it as a storage vehicle.
Okay.
Or a school bus or whatever. Yeah.
Well, because the last meeting you were talking about the camper that was filled with and used as a garage or storage.
That would be an example, right?
Right, that's what you were referring to, yes.
I understand the intent. I'm just wondering about the wording.
Oh,
It's indicating that by businesses and residents I'm sorry, but built for the purposes other than the storage of goods. So it's basically you're saying it wasn't built for storage.
That's correct.
Okay. It seems awkward, but I guess it's okay. I mean, what if the van is built for a truck is built for the purpose of storage? It's okay then?
Most trucks aren't built for storage primarily.
Well, he makes a good point.
A dump truck, yeah.
Yeah, a dump truck or a tractor trailer van. It's
Yeah, what if I have an
Built for
old
over the
moving
road,
van from
built for
Costage moving and storage in my front yard? Well, it was built for storage.
well, but it really wasn't built for storage. It was built to carry things. I guess we could argue about the word storage.
well, there's some people
get your
that
point,
have their tools. They have their tools in their truck. And that's storage, that's their tools.
Or if I have a construction company and I have a 40-foot trailer that has all my saws and everything in it. I don't know. We're basically saying that's allowed, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but it's
How about long-term storage? If we are not permitted to be used for long-term storage.
So if your contractor, that trailer or van's gonna be moving with you every day.
How about stationary storage?
Yeah, but sometimes they leave it overnight.
Well, that's nothing. Well. Maybe it is. Um,
Uh,
I guess as I read it, I understand it now. It's just,
It's awkward.
Or we could be used for storage more than X number of days per month or something like that.
I agree with that.
Well, you could do the trucks, vans, all of that. Similar items and structures being used for storage of goods and materials are not permitted on property zoned, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, I think trucks, vans, mobile homes and trailers used for used for storage of, we'll just use for storage.
Yeah, used
Okay.
for storage are not permitted.
Everybody wanna go over that language with me one more time?
Sure. Vehicles and similar items used for storage of goods and materials
Are not permitted on
Are not-
residential properties.
All right, so we're gonna strike, and structures originally built for purposes other than,
Yes.
yes,
all right?
strike those words and insert the words being used for.
Let's go over it one more time. And similar items. Being used for the storage of goods and materials are not permitted. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, are not permitted,
Strike out to be used for storage,
right?
or just not permitted on property zoned.
Well, yeah, I guess we're limited into those categories of zoning, because there's also parks and
Right.
that sort of thing.
So we're gonna strike to be used for storage on.
Yes.
No, we're not going to strike that is to be used primarily for residential, that is used primarily for residential, because there is legitimately,
No, we're saying we're striking out to be used for storage.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Property zoned.
don't confuse me.
Okay. Right? Okay. Ready to go down to a permit?
I'd make a suggestion to take that whole paragraph,
Which one?
the second paragraph on that page, the provisions.
Yeah.
And I would move that at the
Bottom of,
At the bottom of three.
A.
yeah,
So you say what the permitted requirements
I
are,
agree.
and then the provisions of section A2 A3 shall not apply.
So we're gonna move that to the bottom underneath three
Yeah,
there, okay?
and then people. Yeah, I think it's,
Yeah, that's the better placement for that.
So we're only charging a fee if they want permit extensions for additional periods of up to 90, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we changed that 45 and lengthened
Right.
that, right?
yep.
But if that's not captured on the recent draft, is it? Or am I looking over it?
So, and two, we moved it up to 45 days and then.
I see.
We
Thank you.
took out the 30-day extension, made it at 90.
Made it 90. Yeah.
do we wanna, in, paragraph 1 under permitted requirements, replace refuse with rubbish? System.
Why don't we do refuse / rubbish? Because sometimes it's both.
So refuge,
Well, except refuse
uh,
includes all of
We've
it.
now struck out throughout. We've replaced it with rubbish.
Yeah, rubbish.
Rubbish, comma, debris. Yeah.
I mean, if we're taking refuse out and using rubbish in its place, then,
that's fine.
I mean, I'm just pointing that out.
No, I can speak.
Not to be a pain in the, but under refuse,
The definition.
yes.
Yeah, we still have the slash, don't we?
Well, we still have debris in there where we crossed it out below, but we still have it. Sorry, I didn't mean to go back.
I just picked that up. Yeah.
All right, where are you?
So at the bottom of the page, we have refuse and then rubbish / debris, and the word debris is,
Which cross out?
Under the definition of refuse.
it's not crossed out. So it probably should be consistent.
On the definition of refuse, we still have
Debris in there.
rubbish / debris. And it should be just
Rubbish.
rubbish. Well, actually, it should be, refuse should be the all-inclusive term. So to the extent that we've also defined the word debris,
Did we?
yeah.
Excuse
So-
me, or some help, I own the garbage company.
No, thank you. Rubbish or comma debris,
Yeah, rubbish,
Yeah,
comma, debris.
that would make it
Yes.
better.
Well, you clearly don't know what you're talking
Pardon
about.
me. Don't have public comment, you may.
Well, it's not a comment, I'm trying to help you, there's two terms in New York State, construction and demolition debris and municipal solid waste, so they
Okay.
two different landfills, and that's where
Bill?
your refuse goes.
May,
So put those two terms in there, you got it covered. You don't know what you're talking
you
about,
may be quiet or leave.
you don't know what you're talking about, I'm trying to help you.
I'm asking you one last time. Thank you.
So going back to A1 paragraph, we can simply use the all-inclusive term refuse, right? And not have it.
Just leave that.
Right.
Where it is.
That makes sense, Janine?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Kathy,
Yep,
did you have any other questions about the fees and permits for this?
no, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I got a really, really bad toothache and I'm kind of on medication. So I really can't think straight, so if I'm quiet, that's the reason, but I wanted to dial in or call in.
Okay, you had just mentioned it earlier, so I just wanted to make sure we,
Yeah, I can't,
okay,
okay,
Sorry.
so,
I'm sure the guy's a good nurse, so.
no, not so much, but thank you.
Okay.
In subparagraph 2, third line down, we should be consistent and refer to the container as a storage container.
Wait, it says storage container. Which one?
The next
on
line
2.
down.
Third line down, sticker notice prominently displayed on the street side of the dumpster or storage
Oh, I see what I was,
container.
okay.
All right, are we ready for B?
Yep,
The first sentence doesn't make sense to me. Number 1. After all
Right,
dumpsters
yeah,
or
right.
storage containers shall be located on a driveway or storage container.
Probably not. So shall be located on a driveway
Or should,
and shall not? A drive, no, I think,
should not. And should not.
And should be and.
and that gives latitude for the CEO to specify some other location. I don't think we need the 5 in parentheses and on bullet number 3. We haven't used it otherwise.
Should it be of a? Within 5 feet of?
Of a public street, yes.
It was suggested that maybe we don't want all the enclosures necessarily be 6 foot, but there should be a minimum of 6 foot.
Okay,
Well, 6 foot would give the average person. Not-
right.
And strike out that 6 in parentheses.
Yeah, thank you.
It brings us to C.
You just rearranged the words on that one. Those
Yeah.
words were elsewhere in the paragraph, but they,
Moved it from the end to, the middle there.
Now, number 4, the dumpster enclosure, that also is pertaining to the one that's at the village right now?
Yes.
Okay.
It is kind of more out there. See, so the only change here on C was, moving at the end of each workday or when not in use. But, for a little better,
I might also suggest that we insert dumpsters containing garbage or other organic matter must be covered at all times and emptied regularly. We don't want exposed garbage and organic matter, do we?
So you want it to say must be covered and emptied regularly?
Must be covered at all times and emptied regularly, yeah. Or covered when not in, well, if it's got organic matter, it's in use.
Yeah,
So it really should be covered at all times and emptied regularly.
so, how do you want to work that?
What's the time frame for regularly? That could be
Well,
different meaning to a lot of different people.
Good point. Otherwise, we say weekly, at least weekly.
At least weekly.
and on my last sentence, you want any dumping. How are you gonna change that word?
Well, before we get to that last, I was suggesting the sentence that starts over to the right, dumpsters containing garbage or other organic matters must be covered at all times and emptied at least weekly.
So you want to.
This is Mark, possibly a provision that when they're full, I mean, after a weekend, dumpsters are sometimes literally overflowing. And if it's full, maybe dumpsters should be emptied, within 24 hours.
or within 24 hours if overflowing?
Well, we start the provision out by saying dumpsters shall not be filled so as to overflow. So do we have to,
Or just saying full.
again, sorry?
Yeah, just say empty when full.
But then what if that's a month?
Yeah,
It does say in the last sentence that generates a offensive odor or attracts loading and suburban must be removed immediately.
We could put any dumpster that is overflowing or generates an offensive odor.
I like that.
Okay.
Did you catch that, Bruce? Okay.
Other-
I don't have anything on 12. No.
about 13. Okay. About 14.
Under B, the first sentence doesn't make sense to me.
Which one?
The village shall be reimbursed for the cost of the work performed or services rendered.
Rendered.
It's supposed to be rendered, it looks crossed out, that's why I was confused.
Yeah.
So should that be here and after provided by section 141.15D? Yeah.
141.
Wait, shouldn't it be 14?
Yeah, it is. There is no.
There is no D.
There is no D in 14, so
Well, actually, since there's no D. So they. Yes. 13.
Or is it 141-15D?
I think it was supposed to be 13.
no, it shall be reimbursed for the costs of work performed as provided in section 141.15D, and 15D provides for the cost.
Yeah,
D.
All right,
needs to be 15.
thank you.
So I think we've been back and forth on the here and above or here and after, or I think it should be here and after provided
Okay, where are you again?
on B, on 14B.
Mhm.
It should be in the second line there. It should say as here and after provided in 141.15D.
Here and after.
Yeah.
Okay.
So question for you. There's that language in B that said if a person fails to comply with the provisions of this chapter or fails to comply with any notice, order, or directive, this is old language. After expiration of time, be punished by a fine of not more than $1,000 or imprisonment not to exceed 15 days or both. should there be a provision for collection of those monies similar to what is referenced in that paragraph D through tax collection? Or can tax collection include penalties like that? It can?
The ruling was changed a couple years ago.
Yeah. So D should incorporate B if those fees go unpaid, if those penalties go unpaid.
Then they're added to the tax.
Yeah.
So change you want to make that.
Thinking still.
You want to say something like non-payment of
Including non-payment of penalties.
and or fines?
Back on B.
You're still on D, right? Putting that wording in D.
Bringing the B penalty down into D. So I might suggest that the line that reads, and the total cost thereof, including unpaid penalties per,
They use the word fine.
do they use the word fine?
It says be
Oh,
punished
by a fine, yes, okay. Unpaid fines, including unpaid fines, plus an administration fee in the amount of $100.
And then do you want to reference 141.15 B in parenthesis?
I don't think we need to, because we picked it up and we
Okay,
brought B down to D.
okay.
That's what I suggest. All I'm doing in D is suggesting inserting a couple words in D. D as in dog, fourth line down. The cost thereof, including unpaid fines and an administration fee in the amount of $100. So those three words, unpaid fines and.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah.
No, hard to believe. Does that make sense to you, Bill?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good to. Yeah. Because you think it was only $100 that would be a.
Right.
Yeah. The whole attorney may look at that and say, all right, this is.
Right.
This
I'll
is how
always,
you have to word it.
right.
Yeah.
Let me get the big buck. Maybe not.
There aren't any, then what I will do, I will update the draft, send it out to the board members, and look it over. If it meets your approval at our scheduled meeting on Monday, then I'll send it to the attorney.
And just moving on. Would it be I think it'd be helpful for me to the draft you send out now, not to have any of the underlying,
Right.
send it out like it would be
That's,
going.
that was my intention.
Then we've got this to refer to. Because looking at what's
That's
crossed
my
out.
problem. I will have it in the format that I'll send it to
We'll
the
send it
attorney.
out. Yeah.
So Bruce, one more time, can you please review when the public will be able to review this and get back to the village board?
Yes, as I stated at the beginning of the meeting, the process is we are charged with writing the code, not passing. We will write the code. When we're satisfied, then it will be sent to the attorney to make sure there isn't any problems there. Once he says it's okay, it will be sent to the mayor, who will distribute it to the village board. Village board will then decide whether to send it back to us if they didn't like it, or they will open it up for public comment, a minimum of 30 days. So that's the appropriate time for the public to weigh in, make suggestions. As I said, 30 days is the minimum the board can set. They can set the comment period longer. At the end of that comment period, the board will review the village board will review the comments, decide whether it needs to come back again to us, or if they wish to approve it. That's the way it's laid out by the state. And maybe a little awkward or long, but that's where the state wants it. So that's the way it'll be. All right.
Then ultimately needs to go to the Secretary of State for.
Yes, once the
Right?
board, village board approves it, then it gets sent to the state. You're right.
It's not a quick process.
No,
No.
it's not gonna happen overnight. We're starting our third year on it, so. All right. May I have a motion for?
So move.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. We're adjourned.
Feel better, Kathy.
Thank you, I hope so.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Bill, I appreciate one can help us, but I have to stick to the rules.
I appreciate that, but all you guys have to do is use Google. And they'll give you your definitions for what they can do. Municipal solid waste or construction demolition debris. There's no reason for us to waste a lot of time remaking up the state. definitions. Same someone's talking.
Got it?
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Everybody have a good evening. I'll see, Mark and guess we'll be doing Kathy. Monday.
Can I unplug this, Linda?
Yes, thank you.
I don't want to do something that's gonna like,
Oh, no, I lost everything.
Thank you.
I will be there.
Okay.